What up, guys? Another Adonis review. Today I'm going to do The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. I'll try to go straight to the point, not drag on too long on this one, and go through the positives and negatives. So, I feel like they kind of undercut the value of a game when they say Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, like you're just getting like DLC chapters in a sense, but it's obviously a full game. It picks up pretty much exactly after the first game. If you played the first one, it will carry over all the things that you had in the first one to the second one. So it doesn't really matter, I guess, if you play the first one. It'd be nice to know the information, but I don't think that would take away from the fun of the game. But I would really suggest beating the first one before you start it, because once you start the new game, it's going to have whatever you have. So even if you were halfway through the game and you wanted to start the next one to see what it was like, it's going to pull over, the stuff you had at that point. So why not wait to pull it over once you have everything you've unlocked from the first game and the second game? Because there are a lot of unlockables. But it kind of undersells the second game because you cuts out time that it would take to get those things in the second game, but that time is also pulled over from the first game, so why not do it, right? Maybe more of a powerhouse. Because they do also add abilities and things to build as well in the second game, so it's not like if you get everything you can build and all the recipes and all that shit in the first game, you have nothing to do in the second game for like downtime or side shit to do. They do give you new other things to build, like you get like gloves for beating people up. So you just want to punch someone who's the death again. They have like a sawed off as a side weapon and shit like that. So you do got to get a whole thing. And so basically, the best way to explain Chapter 2 is really, again, the game being continued from where you left off, but then expanded upon. So your little bus base has been, expanded. You now have like a whole under the tube chill pad, bachelor pad set up, which is underutilized, but I guess, if it was the apocalypse, that's how I'd like to live. But your bus is still there. It's like connected to your bus. And then between your bus and this bachelor pad, the walking path is your new benches to build new stuff, while your old stuff that you can build and craft is still on the other side. So it's all in the same area. So positive and negatives of the game. I feel like on the PSVR 2, the graphics are, good. They have obviously improved it, the atmosphere and all that fun stuff. I've always given high acclaim for The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners for having amazing VR control. They truly, you can tell they built this game for the VR in mind. That was even true when it came to the first one, because obviously with the PSVR 2, a lot of games come with that, because most games, I think, if not all, basically can only be played with the VR2 controllers, while with the first VR, a lot of games, like that was an additional thing to get the move controllers. It was like a luxury that you didn't really have to have for most games.
No go.
So with that being said,
head
they
north on
made
St. Peter,
the first one
then slip through
for
the
those
back
move
patio of the
controllers. Like,
Maison,
it was
or south on
100%
St. Peter.
in thought while they built that
Cut
game.
through Preservation Hall.
So this really does have great
Blockade
controls.
circumvented.
The way the weapons
Broadcast
sway,
booth
if you
is up on
hold
the
it two
third
hands,
floor.
it's a very
As far as I can
obvious
tell,
that you
tower
need
isn't heading up
strength
there.
to be able to,
Sticking to the
to
ground
hold
floor.
it so it's lifted up in the right area,
No telling
or
what that's
holding a
all about.
chainsaw. It's like it's
Before
too
you
much
roll
weight to
out,
hold it with one
make
hand,
sure you
shit like
snag a
that.
few goodies
I
I
think
left
that's
behind the
it. Really
bar
gives
downstairs.
depth to the game.
Keep it sneaky.
Like even if you think
Vibes.
about Resident Evil 8, if you go from like Saints and Sinners to Resident Evil 8, it's very obvious, because when you're walking around with a shotgun and Saints and Sinners, with one hand to carry the shotgun, it like weighs you down. It's hard to pull it up. And when you walk around with it in Resident Evil 8, it's like the weight of paper, and the fact that it can create that image of weight when obviously all you're doing is going to be holding your controller either way. So the fact that you can tell in the game that like, oh, this is heavy, it's hard to pick this up, while in Resident Evil 8 you can't, you know, because they don't make that adjustment of like atmosphere and weight. I don't know. I appreciate it. I guess is the long and short of it. So I think I think that's really unique how they do that. The lighting works fantastic. You know, everything is set up well. The story's pretty good. The only real negatives is that I think they only add a few more new places, like maybe 3 new places. You know, with the old places, and I think I don't know if 1 or 2 of the old places are cut out or if they're just extremely dangerous because of what happened in the first game, altering it. But that's kind of a bummer too. I think I'd rather only have like 1 or 2 places. I kind of wish it was flipped where they only had maybe 2, 3 places that were accessible from the old game. That, you know, maybe every other place got destroyed and then you have to go to a whole new area, you know, a whole 5, 6, 7 areas that are new because of that event. It would be cooler. So kind of lazy on their part maybe. But I honestly didn't think about that till now, so, you know, whatever. The game's still good. The mechanics are good. You know, like I said, weight distribution, graphics, everything's good. If you like the first one, you know, I feel like this is, you know, buy this one. Why wouldn't you? The price is very reasonable. I think it's like $30, you know. Most VR2 games are definitely worth the price that they start off at. And if you get a sale, it's just all that much better to get it. And the only real negative I can think of is that, like I said, they didn't make as much spaces. They, you know, they kind of, this I would almost consider as maybe a glorified expansion. Like, if they gave this to you as you could see this being an expansion, but they gave it to you, it'd be probably like the best expansion someone's giving you past like Blood and Wine for The Witcher 3. Like, wow, they really went above and beyond for this expansion. But oh well, you know, like it's great for, again, it's only like $30, so that's basically an expansion price right there anyways, right? So fuck it, fair enough. So I think it's worth it. I think you should play it. I think if you play the first one, you should play it. I think if you haven't played the first one, you should buy the first one and this one. Usually you can get both of them in a combo deal for like $40, maybe $50 at worst, but that's not the worst way to live life. It's definitely a great deal. It's a lot of content, and it's like a must-have game for the VR2, I think. So it's definitely worth getting the second one for a fact. Great game. So let me know if you get it because of this, and you know, if you didn't like it, tell me why, and if you did, let me know what you thought. Later, guys.